If you are like me, you are ready to say goodbye to 2021. And if you are like me, you have probably said goodbye to many, many people. If you are like me, you probably wrestle with a number of different thoughts and you're not sure of where it's coming from. I want you to understand that you are not alone in the way that you're thinking. However, I want you to know that you matter. I want you to know that you are worth every ounce of it. Do not underestimate the hole that the earth will fill without you on it. If you are thinking of harming yourself or harming someone else, please don't. Please reach out and contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. You don't know this, but let me be the first to tell you. We care. You matter. This world is so much better with you in it. And if for some odd reason you just don't feel the urge or the need to contact that one, you don't want them to be in your business, to contact me. I'm more than open to listening and having a conversation with you and guiding you in the best way possible. I'm going to fight the battle with you. So before you make a decision that we cannot live with, make one that you can. Let's talk football. What's going on, Pride Nation, and welcome back to another Field Review podcast show. I know for a fact that the universe, it knows me too well, because had I been able to go live yesterday, you would have got a reaction that many of you, including most of my critics, would have said, "Where's this coming from?" And I'm still gonna give you that same reaction. I'm just gonna do it a little less amped up. We got a lot to cover in terms of that game. We got a lot to cover in terms of Lions news. And we're going to cover a few more things in terms of the game coming up with the Seahawks in the way. That with your questions and more. It's an open space. So feel free. I'll make sure I put the link in there for people to join in and rock with me. But I'm about to go in a direction that I don't think y'all going to understand. Now, one thing I got y'all to understand is this. It's the holiday time, and overtime has been ridiculous for us as we are, like many other people, short-staffed. And so, as such, they basically going to burn us out. So that's what's been killing me, people. It's been slowing me down. But let's see who's in the building with me before I go into my, I'm not going to call it a rant. I'm just going to call it keeping it real about football. We got my man Looney Tune in the building. We got One Pride 40. Kyle Webb is in the building. Friendly neighborhood Lions fan. One of the dopest names out there. We got my man Dan in the building. Down 19 is in the building. Antonio Jenkins. Chris Cashball, Forbidden Knowledge. All of these people in the building, I'm sure people will come in. Yes, I'm on a little bit earlier because I got off early. Apparently, they realized that they worked me to death, and it is what it is. So it's just a shameful thing to think about. Now, first thing first, I want to put a declaration out because I don't think I can do what I've been doing in 2021 and 2022. So here's my disclaimer. If you came here looking for a certain generic narrative or take, I'm not the person. I'm not the person. I was pissed. I was pissed on Sunday. I was upset. I was frustrated. And it's because of a number of things. It really is. And those things that I was pissed and frustrated about are things I'm going to discuss today. First thing first I want to start off with is the local media. I hate them. I hate them. Y'all know I hate the local media. I cannot take it no more. I'm listening to the local media, and it wasn't just the radio. It was all of it. It was a number of it where there was praise of people making the joke of Victory Monday because the Lions get to stay in the top 2 of the draft picks. And it got me to thinking about loser mentality. And I'm sick of the losers mentality, but we want winners. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, how are you talking about Victory Monday because you're getting the top 2 pick? And all the people in the media who's hyping this narrative up, none of them, and I repeat, none of them are even attempting to tell you who it is that they want with that pick. All they know is, I want the number 2 pick. And then it gives them something to write about. So that was the first thing that kind of ticked me off yesterday. I had to bring myself back. But the universe said, you know what? This is not the time, nor is it the place. And so with that being said, it didn't allow it. It got me forced over for some overtime. Shout out to my people over there at RachelMarieSports UK and my man Anthony. What up, though? So I'm sitting here saying to myself, all right, cool, right? Because this is a narrative that's being pushed. And I'm watching this game, and people are like, hey, man, they fought hard. I don't want to hear that for this game. I don't. I don't want to hear that they fought hard. I don't want to hear that. The Lions should have blew the Falcons out. I literally watched a game where the Lions had all the momentum from beginning of the game, and it fizzled out at the end of the game. And it disgusted me. It disgusts me because we need to talk about something. We need to talk about something that I want somebody to help me understand. Maybe I overlooked something. Maybe the game that I watched, I didn't watch it attentively enough. Maybe I was distracted. I don't know. But you in the chat, if you are in here, can you please tell me, what is it? What is it that the Falcons did good on Sunday? Anybody? Just tell me what they did good on Sunday. This is a very important question. I can't even begin to think about moving on until I get a response. Name the one thing that the Falcons did good on Sunday. Because to me, the game that I watch is going to match up to some proof that I've seen. And the reality is this. I could not find the one thing that they did good. Nothing. I couldn't find one thing. And it's not just me. I went to the ATL media. And the ATL media was even confused too. They writes that the Falcons got off easy. They lucked up that the Lions teams didn't show up. But they didn't do anything good. Nothing. And it's not something that I'm exaggerating. All of this is going to lead into it. I just want y'all to understand. Y'all know me. I like to walk you down the path before I go full-fledged a-hole, right? Before I just dive in it and gets to the nuts and the bolts, okay? I like to dissect the ram of the reality.
The Detroit.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a video. It's a video that may not seem so important to people, but I want y'all to listen carefully. Because if I was able to have more time, I would explain to you. And Mike is right about that. I'll give you that, Mike. They ended the game with a W, and the Lions ended the game with an L. They right about that. I can't argue that. But they didn't do nothing good. So I want y'all to see this video. I was watching this because this is exactly what I saw. I talked about this when we had the free for all on Lions on the Prowl, and it just is what it is. Now, peep this out. This is the NFL preview of the Lions versus Falcons. Let's just listen.
Lions, can we call them hot? They're in Hotlanta at least. The Falcons, feeling the winter's chill though recently, have to basically win out and hope for a post-Christmas miracle. And to do it, they have to start by stopping one of the hottest running backs in football over the last 2 weeks. I introduce you to Netflix.
Craig Reynolds cutting it up. Great vision. And this O-line is just dominating. And Craig Reynolds, he is putting his name on this NFL list of running backs. In a minute, guys are going to be asking, who is he?
Craig Reynolds, what a story. I don't think he was really chilling out and watching Netflix when he got the call, but that's his nickname. Reynolds has been in the league 3 years, had 1 carry in his first 2+ seasons. Then in week 14 gets the call and goes for over 80 yards on 7.5 a run. Last week goes for 112 yards on 4.3 per.
Fotu had him in the backfield, but Reynolds showing the world that he belongs in this league today.
Now, I want y'all to understand something, okay? I want you to understand something. This very first part of this video is very telling because this is the first problem that I had with this damn Lions game. When the game first started, the very first thing that I could not help but notice was who was the starting running back. And you would think after the last 2 weeks that it would have been Craig Reynolds. But no, it was Jamal Williams. Now, I want y'all to understand something. I love me some Jamal Williams, but I also understand what makes a team, aka the offense, more explosive. And it certainly is not Jamal Williams. He's north and south, and the evidence has always been there. If you don't believe me, just simply go back to looking at him try to get the ball to the outside. It looked like somebody had a tractor trailer tied to the back end of him, and he couldn't get going. Now, I want you to understand something. When in the hell did Jamal Williams all of a sudden become the default starting running back? Now, I know this may seem ironic to some of you. Some of you may seem like I'm just coming out of left field with this. Some of you may think that I've lost my damn mind. But just ask yourself the question. When did Jamal Williams become the default starting running back? Now, I had to have a debate with a guy in my Discord who insisted that Jamal Williams is not the starting running back for the Detroit Lions. However, I went to the 49ers game, and the person who started that game was Jamal Williams. The person who took a lot of the snaps was Jamal Williams. He was the de facto starting running back the whole entire time. But why? And I'm watching this happen, and I'm getting pissed. Why? Because this is like the second or third time this has happened. You have two great games where DeAndre Swift goes nuts. You give him a few carries, right? However, after the two good games that DeAndre Swift had, the de facto freaking starting running back was Jamal Williams. And after he sat out with COVID, he sat out with injuries, and Craig Reynolds goes nuts in the next two games, Jamal Williams is healthy. And guess what? He's now back to the starting running back position. When in the hell did he become the de facto default setting for starting running back? In fact, I thought it was shocking when they cut Craig Reynolds at the preseason. I was so shocked that they kept Tim Boyles. I was shocked that they kept Nick Williams. Hell, I was shocked when DeAndre Swift didn't start week 1. When did this happen? I hear people talking about, oh, Dan Campbell's play calling. Play calling wasn't the problem on Sunday. The problem was personnel. Blind loyalty was the problem. You ever notice how on defense, when people get hurt and the other guy's playing well, that person who come back from injury still sits? They get eased back in real slow. What does Aaron Glenn know that our head coach don't? Because I can tell you right now that just with Craig Reynolds being in, the Falcons was loading the box. Every time he got in, they loaded the box. But when Jamal Williams got in, nobody loaded the box. Now, Joey 2 times said Jamal Williams was always above Reynolds on the depth chart. Tell me something I don't know. That's not the point. The point is, I've watched DeAndre Swift have 2 great, phenomenal games, and all of a sudden, Jamal Williams comes back from being hurt, and he's back to being a starter. It's ridiculous. I watched Craig Reynolds have 2 good games, and Jamal Williams be out with COVID, and he comes back, and he's the starter. 19 carries, 77 yards. Half the runs that Jamal Williams had, I really felt if that ball was handed to Reynolds, you probably get more yards, including the outside run. You take the hot hand. And it's not just me that saw this. This is a preview. I'll let the video continue. Because I don't understand how we get to a point where this man is default freaking running back. I don't get it. Don't make sense. Now let's get back to the video. This is just them previewing it.
Big-time play there by Craig Reynolds.
So couple his performance with Atlanta's play against the run last week. They gave up over 100 yards to another exotically named running back. Jeff Wilson hit them for over 5 a carry.
Unleashes Jeff Wilson, swerving his way for 17, screaming his way down to the 29.
The Falcons' offense doesn't run much. Pretty much the Matt Ryan show.
Now that brings me to my next point. Anybody who watched a Falcons game know that they don't run much, damn near at all. It's all, they're the Detroit Lions of last year. One-dimensional, all you can do is pass. All you can do is pass, people. Meanwhile, the Lions could have ran the ball down their throat the entire time. But you know what they decided to do? They decided to get cute. They decided to do things a little bit different because guess what? They are the smart ones in the room. But you know what I find funny? And I find funny that my critics will come in here and say it all the time, but I don't mind it. You show me on any green earth, hell, forget this earth, forget this planet. Show me what planet does Tim Boyles deserve the right to throw the ball 34 times? What planet? You can't even put him on the moon, Pluto. What goddamn planet can you put this quarterback on and say he should be throwing the ball more than we run it? Name it. The ball should have been ran 40-some damn times. And we didn't. We didn't run the ball 40-some times. What we did was we just did enough. We just played real smooth into it. You want some fun numbers? Before I get back to the video that essentially explains to you what most people should know, I want you to look at something. I asked a question earlier about what is it that they did good? And not many of you can name something. You can argue, oh, they threw the ball to Kyle Pitts and anything else. But how does a game get lost to a quarterback that can't run the ball? He threw it 24 times. Matt Ryan. You know that guy that went to a Super Bowl, Matt Ryan? Threw the ball 24 times. And our guy is throwing it 10 more times to him. With a 5.5-yard average. And if you want to talk about the fumble, I don't care. We should have never been in the position for the fumble to matter. It should have been a blowout. It should have been a blowout. You explain to me what they did good. Did they run the ball good? Take out the 4 runs and the 5 yards from Matt Ryan. They got 14 rushing attempts for 42 freaking yards. They certainly didn't run the ball well. You want to tell me they passed well? That's hogwash. Because in case you didn't notice, people, you see this right here? No sacks. None. And you put your quarterback in a position to throw. Why are you trying to be balanced in this game? They should have had 20-something carries apiece if you wanted to feature Jamal Williams. They couldn't stop the run. We damn near had as many yards rushing as we did passing. Take out the 24. If you take out the one pass right here from the freaking punter, you tell me, where does he deserve to throw the ball 34 times? Then I hear people talking about, oh, the defense let them down. Really? Really? How many touchdowns did the defense give up? 2? The rest are field goals? Come on. I was upset. The Lions should have blew the Falcons out. And there's no excuse for it. It's blind loyalty. This whole idea that people shouldn't lose their position to injury is trash. Go talk to freaking Drew Bledsoe after he got hurt and Tom Brady took over. Go talk to him and tell me that you shouldn't lose your job to injury. Go tell me that. I can go back more currently. You ride the hot hand. And the system was set up for you to not only be able to ride the hot hand, but there was nothing they did good. They threw the ball to Kyle Pitts. Big whoop. They shut everything else out. Fine. I just don't get it. I'm listening to the media. I'm looking at Twitter. I need to stay the fuck off Twitter. I need to stay off Instagram. I'm listening to the fans talk. They're saying stuff like, Amon-Ra St. Brown will be a great number 2 receiver. Says who? Why? For what? What did y'all come up with this stuff? Who creates these narratives? Why is it allowed? Where's my police at when you need them? Where are they? And the thing that I got frustrated with was the fact that not only was the game close, we lost. And even if we would have won, I would still have been upset because it shouldn't have been close. We should have been able to blow that team out without incident. We should have been able to just 100% kill them. And we didn't. And it grew frustrating because I don't understand why blind loyalty, what kind of back room deal, handshake deal did Dan Campbell make with Jamal Williams? Let me see if I can find this damn clip. You know what? I probably can't even find it. I don't even want to get in trouble. There's a clip where he's trying to run to the outside. It's nothing but green for days. He couldn't get there, people. He just couldn't get there. And the reality is, it's ridiculous. That was the most winnable game I had seen in a long time. You had a team that was one-dimensional. You didn't have to worry about the run. Who's their running back threat? Nobody. The offensive line is in shambles. Seriously. And I don't like that we are celebrating this. We are excited about it. We come up with these narratives and we act as if though that they don't exist. And it's just not true. The play calling was not a problem. Even the play call that was made on the interception was the right play call. There were people open for touchdowns and everything. The quarterback made a bad decision. But guess what? I am a purist. He should have never been in a position in the first place. He should have never been in a position in the first place. It doesn't make sense. Not when you have that capability to run the ball that way. In fact, I may even argue that the offensive line prefer to run block more than they would pass. And you go against a team who can't stop the run. And you get 130 yards. But guess what? 34 passes for your quarterback. Come on, man. I grew upset. I grew frustrated. I grew aggravated. And everything else in between because it didn't make sense. It did not have to happen. And as much as we would like to treat it as if though, this is just a simple oversight. They're not really trying to win. That's hogwash. Don't tell me they're not trying to win. Don't tell me that they don't. Dan Campbell himself said, at this point, I don't care about the playing hard stuff. I want to win. And it's the truth. We should want to win. So you want my reaction? My reaction was disgust, frustration, and aggravation because we should have been able to blow that team out. The momentum died out of our hands piece by piece because we could not do what we were supposed to do. Now, I did post a link in the thing, so if you want to come in, tell me how crazy I am, tell me that I'm ridiculous or that I'm stupid, it don't make sense. But I'm sick of the dumb narratives, including the one that Amon-Ra St. Brown is not. I repeat, he is not a number 1 receiver. Based on what? We got our first person in the building, my man Don 19. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, Luke?
Man,
how you doing,
listen,
brother?
Bro, listen, I needed that day off because I was way more amped than this, bro. I was way more amped because it don't make sense, bro. How does he do this? Don't happen like 2 or 3 times where we don't have running backs who was hot, and then they bring in the cold hand like we faithful to him. I'm sick of that.
I was kind of surprised to see Jamal Williams out there. You know what? I was like, go ahead, give Craig Reynolds, some more action. Bro, after the last game against Arizona.
Listen, I watched the tape twice because I had to make sure I was seeing it right. Every time Craig Reynolds came in, they loaded the box.
Right.
When Jamal Williams came in, they backed up. They thought Jamal Williams meant pass, and that Craig Reynolds meant run. That's how important it was.
And another thing, the offensive line was kind of jumpy. Maybe it was the new quarterback. I'm like, there's a lot of false starts in the red zone.
You know why though? You know why? Because I think I'll stand by this. I'll go to my grave with this belief. They prefer to run block than the pass. They was ready to fire off. They want to impose their will on you, and they knew that they could against that team.
Right.
And instead, we were telling them we're going to pass more. We're going to pass here. Why? It doesn't make sense.
So when you say you ain't like when people call Miles St. Brown a number 2, what do you mean by that?
What the hell is a number 2 receiver? Like, people act like, oh, this is not a number 2. He's a number 2. This is a number 1. Like,
okay.
To me, the number 1 is who I go to the most. Cooper Kupp may play in the slot, but he's their number 1 target. He's the number 1 receiver. Wes Walker may have played in the slot, but he was Tom Brady's number 1 target.
Okay.
Rob Gronkowski played tight end, but he's the number 1 target. Go and look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Travis Kelce is their leading receiver because he's the number 1 target. This idea that Amon-Ra St. Brown is a number 2 receiver is just comical to me. He's not. He should be the number 1 target. He's exactly what I thought he was.
I was about to say, like, he is the number 1 right now. I mean, Josh Reynolds, he not no number 1. So I guess he is a number 1 on this team.
Man, if you put him on another team and he balled in this way, he'd be a number 1. It's really no difference between him and Antonio Brown. People can argue that there is, but it's really not. And he does remind me a lot of Hines Ward. Shout out to my man Mars Moon, aka Mars is Landing. Right?
No, I got another comparison. I think he like a Tyler Lockett from the Seahawks.
Nah, because he's not as fast, and I think he's a better route runner. I think he's a better route runner. I go back to college film, then I look at where he's at right now. He's very crafty in how he gets open, and when you see him, he's been open. He's been open a lot this season.
He was open the whole time, the whole game.
Again, it's one of those things where I just see these things and I just ask questions and I don't get it, man. But I got other people waiting in the back, man. Another thing. I don't think we would have blown the team out with Tim Boyle. I gotta disagree with that. I'm gonna tell you why we would have. Right? Okay. Let's be honest. What were they doing? For the most part in that game, nothing. The Lions had all the momentum. They was moving the ball up and down the field. They were getting stops. The score was 10-10 at half, and it shouldn't even have been that. They kicker was kicking some of the longest field goals you can kick.
Man, I was like, bro.
That tells me that we just needed to do our job. And when we were in good field position, we got pulled out of it because guess what? We're opting to pass, and when the run is open up on a team that can't stop the run. You know, that's the equivalent to me basically letting you fight my 2-year-old and telling you, hey, all you got to do is push him over, and you insist on laying flat and letting them choke you out. That's your fault. You got to be better.
I mean, I could definitely see us like we could have probably won by 10 if Goff was there, but I don't trust Tim Boyle.
Talent wasn't why we lost that game. And I dare somebody to come in here and say we lost that game because of talent, because we had more than enough to win that game, and we failed on personnel, and we failed. What I mean by that, meaning that we didn't put in the right people, and we failed on making sure that we did what was our strength. And those things falls on the coach. It is what it is.
Yeah. Maybe we'll bounce back against Seattle. I don't know their strength and weakness. I ain't watched a lot of Seahawks games.
They struggling too because they can't run the damn ball neither. But they got a sneaky.
I wonder if it's snowing. Game. Is it snowing there?
Well, it's supposed to be. I ain't been outside yet. Other than I got to work from home today, so I look
right. But all right,
man.
Good looking for having me on, bro.
100% appreciate you, Don, man. Stay in the chat and keep it going. I had a hard time with this loss, bro. I really did, and then I had a hard time with the reaction of the people who was trying to make it seem like it's a victory because we keep our draft position. Ridiculous. My man Micro Mike is in the building. What up, though?
What's up, man? So you're taking that loss hard, huh?
Yeah, because it shouldn't have been a loss.
It was a close one. Right? It was definitely a close game.
If I show up to your house with a briefcase and say it's $1 million in here, all you got to do is take it. Here, I'm giving it to you. And then you just walk away, but then you get on, your channel and start saying, hey, I'm broke. it's your fault, right? Like, it's really your fault. It was right there for the taking. The Lions had more than enough with Tim Boyles to win that game and blow him out. And they had all the momentum, and it just died little by little by
one
little.
Thing that I felt like they could have done better, and I think, is the Craig Reynolds. He should have been playing more. I wanted to see Craig Reynolds. He is a multi-dimensional running back, and I felt like he would have opened it up a little bit more regarding the run game, and they didn't do that. They started with Williams, and I thought that was a mistake.
They did it twice this season. Remember, you had Swift go nuts, and you had every fan talking about something. It's not sustainable. You can't run him like that. That's not in Swift wheelhouse. Blah blah blah. And what they do? They start Jamal Williams. Nothing is getting going. Nothing happens. They put Swift back in. Then he gets the first carry and gets hurt. You took the whole rhythm out of it. He was. I don't understand it. You do the same thing with Craig Reynolds. We didn't have anything established. We're going against the Denver Broncos. Craig Reynolds, a lightning rod. You did the Cardinals game. I don't need to say nothing about that. Bear witness.
Yeah, I think that's something that, and I want to see that in the next couple of weeks. Next 2 weeks is them actually run Craig Reynolds. Stop with Jamal Williams. I like Jamal Williams for the 2 yards. Yep. But Craig Reynolds is the guy.
He's a guy.
Give him the football. Let him run the football. Dude. Did you see him shake off 3 defenders?
Yep.
3 defenders to get a first down.
Yep. And it's so mind-boggling that I have to watch people like, man, if I could find this damn clip of him trying to get to the outside, it was so slow. It was number green over there. He don't even have, he's north and south, okay? And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I will argue this to my grave. You're more explosive with DeAndre Swift on offense and with Craig Reynolds than Jamal. Jamal, when you want to kill clock and you want to grind it out, yeah, get him the ball. When you need those hard yards to buff them up, and yeah, do that. But when you're trying to get big yardage, there's even the passing game. You trying to use him in the passing game is useless. He's not going to juke anybody. He's not going to make nobody miss. His goal is to run through people. And then I had to hear stuff like this, like, oh, it's a talent issue. I've never seen somebody say something about it. Listen, you can't have it both ways. If it's a talent issue and the games are close, then you're telling me that Dan Campbell is the next great legendary coach, right?
I think I don't know about going to be some legendary coach.
No, but if you're telling me that all these games are close, this is what they're saying. All these games are close because we don't have talent. Then that means that they're close because it's on the coach, right?
We have talent, but we don't have werewolves. That's the issue with us. We need to have a werewolf. To me, Kyle Hamilton, you get him, you put him in a safety, he's a werewolf. He's a face on the defense. We got some supporting cast. We got the Jerry Jacobs. We got Tracy Walker. Hell, we got Derek Barnes right now who's developing. We don't have that werewolf, the guy that makes that big old play. And I think that's what we got to get in this year's draft, to where it's not really going to be, we're going to win those closer games. We're going to be able to close them out and make those big plays. I think that's what we need. And I think that's what we're having an issue with right now. We have good players. We have a decent, good cast. We do have some bad players, but we don't have key werewolves.
See, for me, Mike, it's the name. People want the name. I don't need the name. I don't care who my receivers are. They get open, right? I don't this is the one thing I can honestly sit there and say that they did better this year than they did last year. We get way open. It could be scheme based. Don't get me wrong, but our receivers are open more this season than they were last. They just way more open. And some of it is the fact that the receivers are running routes. Some of it is scheme. But the reality is I don't understand why is it that for a second or third time, Jamal Williams is the default starting running back.
Well, he has a video clip of Dan Campbell and someone close to him doing so. I don't know. I don't know.
Dude,
but look, Craig Reynolds to me has deserved that spot. And I think it is, to me, I've been saying this for a long time. long time in preseason. Like this guy, he's not great at one thing, right? He's not like he's got the super speed that you could say, but he's really good at everything. He's very patient, waits for the hole to open up, and he hits it. You know, if you look at Jamaal Williams, really good with that 2 yards. He can just hit you really hard, grind it out. You know he's going to get you that yard if it's 3rd and 1. He can do that. Swift, man, he can do that breakaway speed. If he can breaks that tackle, he can run it 54 yards for a touchdown. What's Craig Reynolds bring? A little bit of everything. This dude, right. and that's why you got to play him, because you don't know what's going to happen on the play. You know this guy can break it. He can break those tackles, so give him the ball. You know he can make a big play, so get him the ball. And as we seen last week, he can catch it out of the backfield as well, breaking 3 tackles. And I think that's the issue right now is put him out there. And plus, the season's over with. We're not going to go to the playoffs. Get him some playing time. We know we have with Jamaal Williams. Let's give more to Craig Reynolds.
You know what's funny about what you just said that I find very telling? They talk about this idea of talent is you notice how everybody who they've given playing time to has gotten better and better. Derek Barnes has gotten better and better. AJ Parker's gotten better and better. They moved Will Harris from freaking safety to cornerback. And there was an interview that was done on Roar the Lions UK where they talked to Glover Quin, and I asked the question, simply put, how difficult is it moving from safety to cornerback? And he said, you usually don't see stuff like that. Generally, it's going from corner to safety because the transition is a little bit smoother. Right. How in the hell is they doing this?
Here's the difference between Matt Patricia and Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell came in and he stated, I'm going to put my players in positions to succeed. You put them at what their strengths are. Clearly, safety was not a strength. We know that. But he found something when it comes to the cornerback position. And matter of fact, Aaron Glenn has done that with multiple players on this football team. There's players that can do specific things that are good. So put them in that position instead of putting them in something they're not generally great at.
Right.
And that's the issue when it comes to Will Harris. It's the issue when it came to many players. And that's the difference between Pat Patricia, Mr. 31, 32 in the NFL, to an Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell that understand what the players' strengths are and weaknesses and doing just that.
So one of my critics, I love me some Don Burr because it's fun and entertaining. Don Burr says, we've been telling Luke talent was a problem since week 1, and he says it's not talent, which I stand by. Talent is not an issue. He says, but Mike telling him we need werewolves. Where's werewolves supersede the idea that we have talent? What you're saying is we need a guy, we need a name, somebody that can draw the attention away from other players. Because when you got to just spread it out across the board, it's like, okay. But when I can force you to game plan for somebody like, say, Ndamukong Suh, who's not going to put a lot of numbers on the stat sheet necessarily, but what he does is intangible, right? That's what a werewolf is. That's what a dog is. It's somebody who changes the trajectory and the team's game plan. We have talent. We don't have that game plan changer person just yet, and that's fine. But to say we don't have talent is just a false narrative.
You got blue chip, red chip, and white chip players out there. They're individuals that we need all of them on a team. You can't have 30 or 53 blue chip players unless you're Jacksonville Jaguars and draft with the first pick 53 times in a row. It just doesn't happen. So, but what you need to do is get players that are dynamic. You need to have that because the NFL is very close when it comes to the competition between each team. Generally, teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars can win a game. As you see, they got 2 wins in the year, even though their roster kind of sucks. They got bad players, but you need to have a guy that takes that talent level that they have and bring it to the next level. Nick Bosa, San Francisco 49ers, they got a good defensive line, but man, you got a game plan around Nick Bosa. You really do, because he's going to sack you really good. He's going to get after the quarterback. He's going to make a big play defensively that can give you a chance to win. You got players like DeAndre Levy when he was a Detroit Lion. Yep. Guys getting interceptions. He's a game changer. Calvin Johnson, game changer. So we have talent. I still think we have talent less. We need to get more talent, and that would be the draft. get players in the first round, the second round, third round, and not screw up like Jelani Tavai, but actually have players that can have their role. You got your role players, and then you got your blue chip players, your Penei Sewells, who this guy is you come in, yeah, he's a bona fide starter right there. He's a difference maker. He's gonna fight tooth and nail to get you that extra yard. That guy. We need to have a couple more of that guy on this football team. Like, again, I think Kyle Hamilton's safety, if you used to get him, or if they wanted to go edge, you get a couple of these pieces, it can change these losses that we did with the 3 points, and it'll go the other way around if you just have some of these guys on your football team.
I mean, we've been missing a safety for years, and it's something I've been screaming that we needed a safety for the longest.
The defense sucks since we got rid of Quandre Diggs, the worst damn trade of all time.
No, this even on the ticket for me to talk about today too, in terms of trades. But that ain't the worst trade to me is Everson Griffin. I know everybody wants to say it's a late pick, Luke. It don't matter. No, it's dumb. It's dumb because you see you can get Jamar Jefferson as a 7th round pick. He's not bad. That 5th round pick, that cornerback with the 6 interceptions, it's a 5th round pick out of Penn State. Those late picks matter, and when you hit on those, it's a huge difference. Mike, I got people rolling in the back, man. You can hang here and hold tight if you want, if you got time. If not, I kick you out, put somebody else in, bro.
It's my kid's birthday, and
hey, happy birthday to the micro mic beauties over there getting it done.
So ahead, have a good one, guys. Hey, one pride. Regardless if we agree or disagree.
Facts.
It's about our team just win this damn football games. Stop being losers.
Facts. All right. Appreciate you. Next up, we have my man Jon Kapler as we just diving into the idea of this Falcons win-loss situation. I think the Lions should have blew him out. I think the Lions should have blew him out. I think in the words of Danny Green, RRP, we let him off the hook. What do you think, Jon Kapler?
I was very shocked about the running game. And what I mean by that is that there wasn't a whole lot of run game by Netflix. I thought Netflix was going to blow it up like he did the week before. I even picked him for my fantasy team, and I don't do fantasy. I'm just looking at my fantasy tracker, looking at the TV, looking down at the stuff I'm doing for mock drafts. I'm like, how come I'm not getting points with this dude? What's he doing? I'm watching, I'm like, all right, he's in. And like you said, he'd get in, they'd stack the box. I'm like, all right, they're ready for a run play. They come out and they try and throw some dink and dunk pass, which they should have done at the end of the game because Netflix was wide open on the right side. I mean, maybe he wouldn't have got a touchdown, but he was right there. If you were watching the game, even out of your peripheral vision, he was right there. But yeah, no, hot hand was not there. I figured they would have killed it. We finally, for once in a long time, maybe the first time ever, because even with Barry Sanders, it was Barry Sanders. Just Barry Sanders. We have a running back room. We have 4 legit running backs when they are healthy. But when the hot hand's there, okay, let's try this new thing with someone else. Why?
It don't make sense, bro. It don't. I was so frustrated because I'm like, it's blind loyalty. It's personnel decisions that are hurting his team. And, you know, I listen to people talk about this idea of talent. And I love this statement right here from Steve-O. Every player in NFL is talented. They just need the right scheme and coaches to unleash it. And we seem to have
point in case, look at Jacksonville.
Yes.
Number 1 quarterback. How hyped was he? Now, I'm not saying overly hyped because he is with Jacksonville. Look what he did in college with the talent around him. Very, very good quarterback, going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks in college history in that era. You put him on a crap team where he has to do everything, and it's like garbage.
Right.
Now you look at the guy that New England drafted, everyone laughed at. Everyone's like,
right.
And it's starting to look like Bill Belichick's yet another genius, and he's trying to make Tom Brady 2.0 with this guy.
And
it's where the player goes, the scheme fit, and the coaching system around. You know, you can have crap talent and turn them into good. I mean, maybe with the talent we have, we pick up a Marcus Mariota in free agency as our backup, and he does well in the situation that Tim Boyle was in.
You know something that's funny though.
But we want to go out in the first round of their mock drafters. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
And
Go ahead.
people like G-Sling have that, and I don't know if I can say this on here, the biggest quarterback boner ever, and are taking Malik Willis in the mock draft, number 1 overall, when he will be there in the second round. But no, we want a quarterback so bad. Let's overreach, and then with our second pick, we can take a garbage can, and then our first pick in the second round, we can take Towel Boy. Now, let's overreach for a quarterback.
Now, I had this debate.
Because we don't like Jared Goff.
I had this debate with somebody the other day, right? They were saying that DeAndre Swift is the starting running back, and I'm like, DeAndre Swift is the starting running back in like 2 games. No, it's not true. I'm like, maybe 3. No, it's not true. I'm like, I'm telling you that Jamal Williams has been a starter, and I said he should have been gone. Now he said, well, Jamal Williams wasn't doing anything, and I said, really? He said, yeah, and I said, okay, well, let's have a little fun with it. I found this video, right? And I find it interesting. So just to be clear, this is the week 14, week 15. Just show me how many times he's broken a long run starting off. They literally took every snap and put it in chronological order,
okay,
so you can see what happens. Now,
yeah,
I want this to be something that we have fun with, but just watch. Just watch as we explore this. Running backs work in rhythm. I don't know why people have a hard time with this. Why people don't seem to understand this. But if you're riding the hot hand, like they said, if you're riding the hot hand, like they said, then we don't have any problems. So he comes in, just running hard. Now look at the get off. Look at the get off. Right?
Yep.
This guy has been the hot hand. It's been this way. But
and I mean, there was a nice hole there, and he, kind of got cleft, and he hit the dude, and he took off for another 20. It was getting closed, and the dude had the wherewithal to, do something with his arm and keep it going. Then bounces out to the right. Still keeps fighting.
The worst part about it wasn't just this. It was that when I looked at it, I'm saying to myself, y'all didn't generate no points because there was no threat there. There was nobody to be concerned with. And like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I want people to understand something. There are things that people just don't understand. And you know what? I get this, Tony Pollard is so much better than Ezekiel Elliott, but it doesn't matter because Zeke makes more money. It's dumb, but that's exactly how it works. Joey, this is a perfect example.
Yes.
I have a friend who's a Cowboy fan who is disgusted at the fact that he's like, Tony Pollard is doing more than Zeke at this point, and they need to do it. And they're putting them in because, like you said, of money. It's still dumb. And that's my
money and politics
dumb.
And now the whole fantasy thing,
right.
And especially the betting that's going on in Vegas. The betting that's going on in fantasy football. Right. It's the big name. We're losing out on numbers and money. We don't want no Craig Reynolds running. We want the main guy. Well, what happens when Craig Reynolds becomes the main guy and let's say we get rid of, Swift or Swift gets injured and he turns into a superstar? They're going to be like, oh, Craig Reynolds. Wasn't his name Netflix when he first came in? Yeah, I remember him. But when he's not big right now, they don't want to see him. They don't want to watch it.
And that's my problem. That is my problem. I don't want the politics. Ride the hot hand because Tony Pollard is playing better than Ezekiel Elliott. He just is. And Craig Reynolds is playing better than Jamal Williams. And this whole idea that you can't, and it wasn't just that. It was another move that they made that pissed me off. It was another one that they moved that you 34 times with Tim Boyles. That was like his second start.
And with that, Luke, I'm going to put this one out there. I think they're trying to see what they had because, they do hear us, but, they don't always listen. But let's see what we have so we can figure out, do we want to go out in free agency and get someone? Or do we dare maybe in the 4th round want to dip our toes into a project quarterback? Can this guy be our project quarterback? Now, up until he threw that interception, I'd say he managed the game fairly well. For a guy who's making his second start, we're saying?
Listen, it would have been even better if you let him throw the ball 24 times or less.
Yeah.
We should have had a steady push.
A nice 50-50. A nice 50-50 to where that's taken out of his hands. But up until then, I was like, okay, maybe we don't need to go out and get that Marcus Mariota.
Now, William Burr says you are using the right and the high hand wrong. That is a game thing, not a game-to-game thing. What are you talking about? What are you talking?
I get what he's saying, but I get what you're saying. It goes both. It can be in a game, or it can be game to game to game. Look out throughout history. Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Marshall Faulk. They had games to where 2-3 games in a row, it was like 120, 150, cool off for 80. It can go back-to-back games. It can also be in a single game to where it takes, let's get to that 8th carry. All right, by carry 12, holy crap, he's dangerous.
And that's my problem, John. That's where the frustration grew for me.
Hold on, I saw my name. I missed that.
Where?
Someone said something.
No.
I think so, Jon Kapler. They're trying to see. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them things, man. But John, I got some more people in the back, bro. You know, it's always happy seeing you, man. You know,
for sure.
Y'all don't know this, but John came through and helped me when my friend committed suicide. John came through and really helped and supported me. So if y'all don't know this, John got a special
I'm just
partner,
a guy.
You more than a guy in my eyes, sir.
Thanks.
Everybody talks about Superman and Batman and Spider-Man and Iron Man, but there's a guy named Jon Kapler, man, and he's
Get out of here.
I respect what you did for me. You just don't know.
Thank you.
What you did for me. So I just wanted to let you know I appreciate that and I love you,
Thank
sir,
you.
for what you did. You didn't have to take
Love
the time
you too,
to
man.
do it, but I needed that. So thank you.
No problem.
I'm gonna bring my man Malik in. I know Malik finna disagree with me. He been waiting patiently. He got muted. Malik, I'm gonna give you the heads up. Don't start no shit, Malik. It's too early. Come on now.
Hey, look, I'm just coming in here to say you should have already known once you seen Tim Boyle was starting that was gonna be a loss. I said, because I told everybody early on in the week, I told all my friends, I said, look, if we lose this week, it's because Jared Goff did not play.
But let's be honest. We didn't need Jared Goff for this game. Let's be honest. If you take out that one play, that one bad play, that one interception where he admitted he didn't know if they was in zone or man, he got confused. Take that one play out, which he should have never been in that position.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Boyle did okay up until I saw him get over 24 passes, and I was like, "Well, that's too much."
Yeah, I agree. He had a good game, but I still said if Jared Goff didn't play, I knew because like Jared, you need your starting quarterback. You can't just say with like a backup like Tim Boyle who really ain't. This is his second start in the NFL.
Listen, I was okay. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was okay with what he did because it was minimal. They was having him throw it short, dink and dunk his way down, just don't kill us. And he was doing that. That's all I was asking for him. But we should have had 47 to 50 rushing attempts.
And then like everybody been saying, I don't really understand why, but I guess it's because they like Jamal Williams more. But
no, it's not. No, Joey 2 times is right. It's politics. It's the money part of it, and it's politics. And when you put the money part in there, that's what it boils down to. It's the politics. But I'm sorry, you can lose your job to injury. It happens all the time in the NFL. It's been that way for years. And in my opinion, he should have been a compliment to Craig Reynolds.
Because if you look at it, since the beginning of the season, Jamal Williams been the number one all year. That he really, haven't done anything to say, okay, he's the number one. It's like it kind of reminds me of last year. Was it last year where Adrian Peterson played for? Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. When Adrian Peterson was here, and they kept putting him out there as number one.
Right.
And
right.
then,
just because of the name and blind loyalty, we sit up here trying to figure out why would you draft DeAndre Swift to then say that Adrian Peterson is the starter. And then when you tell Adrian Peterson, hey, we're going to start DeAndre Swift, he went, well, I thought I was going to be a compliment any damn way, but about time. I mean, what is wrong with this picture? It keeps repeating itself.
But this is the thing. Didn't Deuce Staley say, or was it Anthony Lynn, said they seen Swift as a number one back?
They did. I mean, and I think that's what the issue has been. That's one of the things that came out in the report, that he didn't like the way that they were talking about using DeAndre Swift. That he wanted to, from what I read, that he wanted to have Swift be the starter, and they Deuce and had convinced Campbell that it should be Jamal Williams.
True. And then before I go, I want to hit one more subject. And then how you feel about, we don't have no Pro Bowlers this year, none. We got alternates, but we don't got no true official Pro Bowlers this year. Like, this is the first time in the last 15, 20 years? How many years we ain't had no Pro Bowlers?
The Pro Bowl to me has always been a joke. That's one. And two, if you don't have any Lions in the Pro Bowl, talk to your fan base. When you see your fellow Lions fans out there, ask them who did they vote on, because we get a large portion of the vote too. And if we're not voting nobody in, we can't get mad about it. Part of it has to be us doing our part. It's 3 parts of the vote. So and fans vote is one big part of it. So when they look up and they don't see anybody voting on players, then get out of here with that. It's like, so they don't need it.
Sure, but all right, thanks for having me on, though.
100%, man. Something else I want to jump into, because I think this needs to happen, and I do agree with you, Mike. It is a popularity contest, and that's probably why I never really gave a damn about it. I just didn't care. I just don't. Now, this is another thing that I had to talk about, because I it's funny to me. We talk about this team, and well, first let me go back. In case you did not hear, they restructured Vitai's contract. So Vitai has a new contract, and I think that it should be discussed. Okay, so basically what happened is the Lions only had about $567,000 in cap space, right? And excuse me, they went over to Vitai and converted some of his salary into a signing bonus to free up $1 million in cap space. Now, many of you may be thinking, well, what does that do? What does that mean, Luke? What that means is that the Lions will now basically have a little bit over $1 million in cap space to try to get through the last couple of games. What it also means is that if you were one of the people who wanted Vitai gone, it's going to get a little bit more difficult, because according to the way that the contract has been restructured, he was due to get he was due to have a $8.4 million cap hit, which means that they would have had $4.2 million in dead money in 2022 if they decided to move on from him. So what then happened is, by them doing that and converting it, the cap hit now goes up from 8.4 to 8.73. Which means that instead of them only having $4.2 million in dead money for 2022, they would now be at $5.2 million in dead money if they want to move on from him. So you're talking about moving on from a guy with $5.2 million to hit in dead money, and that still may be feasible for the Lions if they feel like, hey, he's not worth the price tag. In my opinion, he's been okay. I don't think you need to move on from him. But it also means that the amount of money that they save now goes down. So instead of them being able to save the $4.2 million if they cut them previously before the restructure, now if they cut them, they take a $5.2 million cap hit and only saves $3.5 million. You do the math on what they get left over from that, and you realize that you lost some money. In my opinion, it's a move that should have happened, that I'm excited that it did happen, and that I think we should be hyped about it producing. You know what I mean? Because that's just the reality of it. So I'm glad we got that part out the way. We got some more money in our bank, and I'm good with that. Now, I got to get into this, because this is another part that's going to piss some people off. I saw an article talking about Detroit Lions free agents, and I'm going to tell you who I think should get re-signed and who should be allowed to let walk. And there's reasons for each one of my decisions. Hopefully you can respect them, and if you can't, it's okay. You don't got to agree. Just hear me out. First person up is Jalen Reeves-Maybin. I'm going to say that they should let him walk. Yes, Luke said let him walk. Yes, because I believe that he's very much replaceable. And the reason he's very much replaceable is he's been here a very long time. This is probably the best system he's ever been in. And I get it. I totally get it. But this man wants to go somewhere where he can make some money, and he can't make it here. So if you're bringing Jalen Reeves-Maybin back and you're breaking him back on one of them like weak, soft re-signs, cool. But if it's anything that start talking like ultra millions, or if I even hear anything over $6 million, I'm pretty much out on bringing him back. So he's one of the guys I do not want back. I think they should let him walk and explore other options. And then we have my man Charles Harris, plays outside linebacker / pass rusher and edge rusher, a person who I believe will not only come back, but will come back on another prove-it-year deal. I think he'll come back for little to nothing, and I think the Lions should bring him back. Not because of all the sacks he got and all the other stuff, but because, again, it's not going to cost you much. And if at best, at worst case scenario, you find another edge rusher in the draft and he's the guy who get to come in and fill in, voila, I'm okay with that. But if they're talking about signing him to a big long-term deal, I'm going to tell you move on from him. Next, we got Tracy Walker. I don't even got to explain this. He needs to be re-signed. Period, point blank. He needs to be re-signed. We don't have time to be looking for 100 freaking safeties. We got one. We're going to ride with the one. I'm not going to play these games with him. We just going to keep it 100. But to me, Tracy Walker has to come back. Because if you got Tracy Walker and you draft you a safety like Kyle Hamilton, we in business. We can talk about it. But I don't see any reason to not bring Tracy Walker back. It don't make sense to just be like, let him go and walk. That's stupid. It's stupid in my opinion. It just don't make no sense, and I'm against it. Then we have up next one Alex Anzalone. And while Alex Anzalone has played so much better since they got rid of Collins, which is a message to the whole team, perform or get the hell on. I get it. However, I am still not wowed enough by Alex Anzalone. And I don't believe that Alex Anzalone will return on another short end deal, which means that he's going to want more money. And he's not a more money linebacker. It's just not. That's what you went out and got a Derek Barnes for. That's why you got Anthony Pittman, who's not going to ask for a lot of money, but looking for a chance to play because he get to still be at home. That's why you go in the draft and add some other linebackers and free agency to add some other linebackers. But I'm confident that whoever they add will be better than Alex Anzalone. It's been great. He was here to start through the culture change of expectations, but it's time to move on from Alex Anzalone. He should not be re-signed. Then we come down to wide receiver Khalif Raymond. He has to be re-signed. I think you get a lot out of him, and I don't think he's going to ask for a lot of money. He'll still be good if you need to use him on kick or punt return. You'll still get a fast guy if you want to put him in a slot. You want to line him up out wide. You want to put him in the backfield. You have options with him, and I'm not getting rid of people that I have multiple uses for. And he's going to come cheap. He ain't finna come ask for a whole lot of money because he's not going to be the number 1 target. He's not going to be the number 2 target. He's probably going to be the number 3 or 4 target. And that, to me, is a good value to bring him back. Now, if you think that he should not be re-signed, I ain't going to kill you because I'm also under the belief that receivers come a dime a dozen. I really do believe that. Uh-oh, I don't pissed off Mike. Mike, I pissed you off.
No, I just think this is hilarious, man. First, I'm sitting here listening. I made my video Monday about this. Every single free agent. I was like, are you shitting me?
Every single one.
Every single one. And so far, I agree. So far with what you got, I can't really argue with it right now. Just depending on the contract. If it's a cheap deal for Alex, a 1 year.
That's what it boils down to.
Yeah. It all depends on contract.
I don't think he takes another. What is it, $1.75 million he took to play this year? You think he's doing that again? Hell no.
Yeah, this is what I'd say. Say with Jalen Reeves-Maybin, here's a 1-year deal, $2 million. You know, you take it or not. Bam. Alex Anzalone, same type of thing, maybe similar. If not, walk, because you could just draft one, and I think that's what they can do.
Yeah,
but I can't really argue with what you're saying here. I just thought this was hilarious. So I'm gonna just listen back and so far agree with Khalif Raymond, kick returner, punt returner, cheap. He won't cost a lot either.
No, he's not going to ask for a lot. And the worst part about it, as I was stuck at work chasing bad people, holidays, boy, bring out the worst in people. I tell you that right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it in terms of money, because you're talking about having a lot of cap space anyway, about what, 40 million they're projecting us to have. So
yeah, and if you cut Trey Flowers, we're looking at 50 plus,
right?
And I think he gone.
I think he gone too. You know, I'm saving my surefire fires for later in the year, but I think he done. I think that they realize that they can live without him, and you see it every day at their playing. I haven't even had nobody ask me, like, where's Trey Flowers?
Because nobody wants it. You've done anything special. Give me Charles Harris all day.
I mean, look, I can't.
Even Austin Bryant's been stepping up, man. So what do you need? What do you need Mr. Trey Flowers for?
Again, it's one of them things where I'm looking at it based on money, based on need, and can I upgrade them? If I can upgrade them, I'm moving on from them. And if I can't upgrade them, then obviously I want to keep them, because I need to be able to upgrade them. But upgrade, in my opinion, just basically means that I think I can get a replacement and not have to spend all this money for the replacement. I'm still on the train of keep the money coming, and getting things done, in my opinion. That's just me. But
so far you're on track, man. I just thought this was hilarious. I'm like, are you kidding me? I literally just did this. I don't want people to think I'm copied. I made it on Monday.
Listen, you're good. You're good. Listen, I always tell people that no idea is original. There's no such thing as an original idea anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it just isn't. However, I think it needs to be discussed from multiple people, from multiple perspectives, so that it can have multiple ideas as to why this person should be here or should not.
Yeah, and it's not all physical ability. I'm telling you, it's contract too.
It's contract.
It's so important, because you got to understand. Look what we did this year compared to what Patricia did. Now, Patricia paid out all these big old contracts, and look what we're having to deal with right now. God dang, we're dealing with these bad contracts. The Trey Flowers contract tearing us up real bad. It's hurting our team. Yep. I mean, Jared Goff contract is hurting us too, even though that really wasn't.
But it was necessary though. We didn't have no cap.
We had no cap. So you have to be fiscally responsible. And what I did like what Brad Holmes did is these 1-year deals. And so if the players didn't work out, we don't have to worry about it next year. And so we got to be really, when we sign these players like the Jalen Reeves-Maybin, if they want to do that, or who I love Charles Harris, all these individuals, we got to look at the money. Is the money right? Yep. Let's not overpay, folks. Not overpay.
Again, Alex Anzalone played this year for $1.75 million. He's not doing that again.
He's probably not. And now, see, I would love it. I go to 2, and that's why I say, like, on my videos, like, but I'm not going to go past that, because we're going to have around 10 draft picks, give or take.
And how many in the top 50? If just forget the number. How many? I think we got 5. 4
or 5, and who knows? Maybe you get a little bit more if we do a trade down scenario, in which is very possible. And even if you look at these picks, folks, it's all the picks that Brad Holmes did this last year. He got it in the 7th round, free agents, so you can fill these spots in the later rounds. That's why you love about the draft. And with Brad Holmes, unlike Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, he actually selected players that helps team out. You got Derek Barnes, 4th round. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4th round. Jamar Jefferson, 7th round. I mean, you're getting a Melifonwu who, I think he actually has a really bright future. So if we don't re-sign these guys, don't get too upset. Wait till the draft. Wait till free agency. We got to be fiscally responsible. And if you want to be a good franchise, you must do it for the right contract. That's really important.
No, and it boils down to the reality of it. Like I said, there's a few things I hit on today, but like I said, I had to do this because I was like, look, there's some people that need to be gone and that should not be here. And it's not that they're bad. It's just that I believe we can upgrade from them. Like Jalen Reeves-Maybin, he's been here so long, bro. Like literally. But if he's willing to come back cheap, great. I don't think he's gonna want that. He got a chance to get some money and add some money to his pocket. And if I was him, I'm going to get my paper. I ain't getting younger.
You know, that's the thing with him. I love Jalen Reeves-Maybin. He's one of my breakout players this year. Love the guy to death. Man, if we can get him back, I would love it. Same with Evan Brown. Evan Brown. I would love to get this guy back. I just feel another team's going to pay for him.
Oh, that name coming up. You finna find out what I'm going to say about
that. There's no way. Like we're not going to be able to get these guys, man. Like they're going to demand some money, man. I mean, Evan Brown, he comes in, he's one of the best centers out of nowhere. So, it sucks, man. It sucks because there's some good names here.
And the one thing that people don't realize is they often say, "Oh, he wasn't drafted high, or he wasn't drafted at all."
Care.
It doesn't matter. I keep trying to explain to people, a lot of good players go undrafted. A lot of good college players go drafted and suck in the pros. It's the nature of the beast. But
I'll tell you this, where somebody's drafted.
I don't care.
Oh,
I have been saying this for the longest.
Undrafted. Look at this guy.
I've been saying this for the longest, Mike, and I'll stand by this till I die. I don't care where I draft a player as long as the pick is right. I don't care. He has to be the right pick. He has to be the right pick. I don't care to be number 2 if you can't get the pick right. And when I was even able to convince Easy to be like, you know what? I'm on this tip with you, Luke. He's like 100%. He's like, look, bro. He's like, I trust my general manager. He's finding these late picks and they're panning out. And I'm like, yeah, but Amon-Ra St. Brown should have been a second-round receiver, in my opinion, to be honest. And Derek Barnes should have been a second-round linebacker, in my opinion.
We talked about Amani Oruwariye years ago.
Right. He should have been a second-round pick.
That. We got him in the 5th round. I remember we're doing backflips. Like,
absolutely.
How the hell did this guy fall the 5th round?
It don't make sense.
And he is now one of, I would say he should, if Pro Bowl was in a popularity contest, he should be in there. Amani Oruwariye is killing it. So it doesn't matter where somebody is drafted. I love the later rounds and undrafted. I remember we got Jerry Jacobs. I said, oh my God, I think this guy's gonna be pretty good. Him and Tommy Kramer. I didn't know Jerry Jacobs would be this good. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think anybody knew this. No. You gotta be a stud, but that's how you build your team.
Yep. You gotta find the people who has the will to find a way. And I think like it's one of the things, even with Okuda, it's like I think he has the will to try to find a way. I don't think he has the ability to do it. And now that he don't tore his Achilles, he has to play safety. He was a safety all alone.
I'm worried about, man. Look, I was not big high on Okuda. I knew
nobody was.
I wasn't high on him. But after this injury, I'm now worried, man. I am really worried because you want him to succeed. Everybody wants him to be the 3rd pick in the draft. But, man, I don't know, man. I mean, Jerry Jacobs looked better than he did. And we're talking about undrafted guy.
Yeah.
So I'm really worried about this pick. But it's 100%, man. And, if you look at good teams, free agents that walk, you say, dang, how'd these guys go away? Because they draft well to replace them. So we're going to lose some guys that we love. I love Jalen Reeves-Maybin. I want him back. I love Evan Brown. I don't know if we can bring him back. I hope we can, but they're probably going to take the money. And that's okay, though, because if they do get big contracts, what happens, Luke?
Well,
we going to get what?
You don't get the cap space to build your team up. You don't get draft position. You don't get options. You don't get opportunities. It limits everything.
Draft picks, too.
Well, they're going to get that regardless because they're going to get those picks regardless based off of the deal that Kenny Galladay got. So that's guaranteed 1. And I think the other dude was Marvin Jones that we lost. But
Marvin Jones and Jamal Agnew got a big old contract as well. So that one's curious to see. But when these guys leave, like say if Jalen Reeves-Maybin does leave the Lions and he gets a decent contract, we can get a comp pick for him. So it will suck to see him leave, but at the same time, it's building the future of your football team.
Right.
You're not going to see it right then and there, but as you do this, like the Patriot, we don't want to talk about the Patriot way. They suck. I hate the Patriot way. But when they're letting free agents walk and they get those comp picks, that's how they replenish the roster.
Yeah, it's going to be one of them things. Now, while you on here, I'll do a quick rundown. I don't want to mess your video up, but I think the Lions should and will bring back Jason Kabinda. He's not going to cost you a damn thing. I mean,
nope, and they like him. He's
going to still be cheap. And we're running the ball. I don't know if y'all noticed this. We're running the ball. A cheap fullback, I'll take him.
When you think of Jason Kabinda, you think of the ex-girlfriend. She's not the greatest thing in the world.
Nope.
But she always lays down. Yep. And so
I didn't say that. Y'all heard it. It wasn't me. That was him. But it's a good point. It's a good point. Why? Dean Marlowe, you can let him walk.
He gone.
Yeah, you can let him walk. I don't even care if you could bring him back cheap. But at best, if you can bring him back as a practice squad guy, sure. But overall, he can't be on your 53-man roster.
No.
I think that you can very much upgrade from him. And I think our upgradable players are already on the team. And Jeff Okudah, who's going to get a shot at safety. And, because at worst case scenario, they're going to try to make Okudah start off at the slot corner first. And then if that don't work, they'll move him to safety. But Dean Marlowe, even if you can get him dirt cheap, I just feel like he's somebody you can upgrade from, in my opinion.
And you got to understand too, there's good what's really good about this draft and this free agency is it's crazy. It's exactly what we need is safeties in free agency as well as in the draft. That's what we're going to upgrade our position from.
I mean, Patricia been gone for almost 4 years at this point, and we still crying about a damn linebacker.
And I'll be crying about this dude for another 20 years. What he did to this roster.
It's freaking everybody wanted to give him a third year. Tried to tell him you just don't do third years with this. You get out while you can. You see what the Jacksonville Jaguars did. They said, "Hey, you messing up our culture. It's got to go."
Or Marvin Jones Jr. He goes from one dysfunction to a guy who puts two fingers in people's buttholes.
Oh my God! Why receiver Kadell Hodge? In my opinion, you can upgrade from him, and I believe the same way you found him, you can find somebody else. I think that he's nobody you ain't got to worry about. He can still make practice squad. He can still make a spot where nobody's going to be trying to chase to have him. And I don't really care about him being traded for, but I'm not trying to retain him. Tim Boyle got to go.
Boyle's got to go.
There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Oh, there's a lot of buts, but he needs to get up out of here, man. I don't trust Tim Boyle. Look, there's a lot of good free agent quarterbacks in free agency, and again, you can go ahead and draft one in the later rounds or a free agent quarterback I trust more than Tim Boyle's.
And plus, my problem is with Tim Boyle? And what's the difference between Tim Boyle and a rookie?
A rookie may have a better last name.
I mean, truthfully, right? Like there's no difference. There's nothing that makes him stand out to be the backup. I'm not even sure he's better than David Blau. And he's getting a nice little piece of change, in my opinion. It's not much, but it's still nice for him to be the backup and not be worth much. So yeah, I'm good on Tim Boyle. We cannot bring him back. If you can't find another replacement in free agency, shame on you. And I believe that they can. I just can. Josh Reynolds. Okay. You have to bring him back.
Wow. I thought you were going to say no. Yeah, I agree. Josh Reynolds, you the chemistry with him and Goff, it's there.
But see, it's not a Goff issue for me. You know what it is? I know what I have in Quintez Cephas. I know what I have in Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know what I have in those two receivers, right? Like I know what I have in Khalif Raymond. And yes, he's another guy that you can put in the slot and do damage with. And I do believe you can move Amon-Ra St. Brown to the outside and still do damage, right? But the reason I'm saying bring him back is because he's literally our biggest receiver.
And he wanted to be here.
He wanted to be here.
He requested to be released to come to the Lions.
Right.
Now, from a team that's winning, a playoff team, if you want to be here like that, and in the way he's performing, hell yeah, bring him back.
Yeah.
I want that.
And plus, like I said, he's our biggest receiver. And I do believe receivers come a dime a dozen, but I don't think he's going to ask you for a lot of money, especially for a person who wants to be here, which is something you took right out of my mouth. But yeah, he's somebody that I'm definitely bringing back. That gives you at least Quintez Cephas, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you at least have him. The other receivers going to have to, do a little bit more to show me. I don't think they got a fair shake due to injuries and other things, but still, yeah, that first three, it's a good core to start with, and you can add and sprinkle in whatever you want via draft or free agency. Nick Williams, just buy. Just don't pass go and collect $200. Just buy.
The only way for him to come back is it would be veteran minimum. But other than that, we got a young group on the defensive line. Penasini, Levi.
And that's why we
got Aleem. And that's just go ahead. We're probably gonna draft Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau if they stay there, one of these guys. So the defensive line is going to be young. We don't need him at the interior. You can find, if they really want to get younger too, they can find somebody else. There's no reason to bring
I'm saving my prediction for the draft until probably like week 17. And it's the reason I'm doing that is because I'm almost sure I know who it is based on if they're at 1 or 2. And I think all of us want them to trade out, but I think I'm pretty sure on who it is between if they stay at 1 or 2. Nick Williams, in my opinion, like you said, it's taken away from the opportunities from the other guys to play. What's the point of you keeping Nick Williams? And I predicted he's taking a pay cut. He did. I'm like, he got to take a pay cut to stay. He did. He took a pay cut to stay. And at this point, all he can do is interfere in the reps that McNeil gets and that Levi gets. So at this point, he can go. Like, there's no reason. He's only going to interfere with their development. So
I would classify him as I don't care.
Yep.
And I don't care,
Now, Sean Dion Hamilton. I haven't missed him yet, and I don't think I'm gonna miss him when he's gone. I don't think he'll be back unless he's a practice squad guy. That's
I don't care about that.
Yep, I don't care.
I think they're gonna pick up a linebacker in the draft fairly high. I'd probably say within the first 3 rounds. And there'd be no reason to have him unless he's a practice squad guy.
Joel Heath. Why? You would have to do a better job of making an argument for him to stay. There's just no reason.
I heard, again, practice squad. Other than that, because you can do that now with these older folks, there's no reason.
Terrell Crosby, he has to go. I've said it once. I'll say it again. You have enough already on this team to get things done. And when I have a guy who comes in here who switches position from DN/D tackle to play offensive tackle, and he's performing better than you, I got a problem. I got a serious problem.
I thought we released him on an injury settlement.
We did. We did release him on an injury settlement. We did. It was reported that they released him on an injury settlement, and then injuries and COVID happened, and they brought him back.
Oh, okay. Well,
brought him back to the
I didn't even put him on my list because I just assume he's not going to be here anyways.
Yeah, he's not going to be here. Evan Brown, you have to retain him at all.
Oh, God.
You have to retain him at all. If you would have told me that we were going to lose Frank Ragnow and I wouldn't notice, I'd have told you BS. And the way he's performed, you have to bring him back because at the very least, he's not going to require a huge contract. Because he's a restricted free agent, that means that before a team can come out there and act a fool and offer up all this money, we get a chance to take first dibs at it and set something up, and they can try to match it or beat it. But at the end of the day, I'm keeping Evan Brown.
Evan Brown's a beast, man. This guy came in, Frank Haley. He's got to get a lot of credit,
man.
Oh my God!
Hopefully he stays.
Yeah, hopefully he stays. Him and Aaron Glenn. I love those guys, but we got to get Evan Brown. I just don't know. He may command a lot of money. That's the thing. Another team may see. I mean, if Graham Glasgow could get a big old contract, you think Evan Brown could be at the center.
Right. You would think, or at least hopeful. Hopeful. But Evan Brown, to me, you got to bring back. And like I said, I don't think he's going to require a lot of money because this is a team that gave him a shot. And plus, I'm going to tell you another reason why I think it would be easy to retain him is because there was a few times where we kind of brought the other guy in to play center and they bumped him over the guard and he still didn't play bad. So I'm cool with Evan Brown. I was very impressed with him. Offensive tackle Will Holden. I'm letting him go.
I'm letting him go. Like I found out my XXX had some sort of sexual transmitted disease. I'm letting this thing go. You can find a guy in the draft. I think they will. No big deal there.
Josh Woods, ironically, has been playing pretty decent from what I can see on the film. However, I think he'll still be able to stay here as a cheap thing. I'll retain him as long as I can retain him as a practice squad guy. Outside
Practice
of that,
squad. Yep.
I believe that I can upgrade from him. I believe that if I'm going to keep Josh Woods, then I most certainly got to keep Jalen Reed-Maybin. And the reality is I believe I can upgrade from all of them linebackers because at this point, I'm looking for more speed. I'm looking for, well, I'm not even going to say speed, but I'm going to say I'm looking for more technically sound players. Who's taking the right angles, who's doing the right read and react, those little things like that. And to me, Josh Woods,
he's a developmental guy. I have no problem with that. Throw him on practice squad.
David Blau, again, here's somebody that I don't think got a fair shot, and for that reason, I want them to let him go so he can go somewhere where he's going to be valued and he's going to have a fair chance to actually play when somebody goes down. The Lions are not looking to do that with him. They think Tim Boyles is better because Tim Boyles got a bigger arm. But at the end of the day, I'm going to put this little bug in your ear. Mike, think about this too. As you're watching the draft stuff coming around, notice how they're targeting and have more respect for people with the big arm. Start looking at those quarterbacks in the draft with the big arm so you can get in those later rounds, even possibly in the first, because that could be a target for the Lions. Just a little snippet right there.
David Blau won't be back. The coaching staff doesn't believe in him. And if I'm David Blau, I would want to go to another team. He got disrespected this year, and he should have played instead of Tim Boyle after Tim Boyle's injury. Agreed.
They call him a safety. I call it a joke. CJ Moore got it. They call him a safety. I don't know. It's a joke to me. It's funny. He got to go. You can't keep him. There's no way.
He plays the Joker position?
Yeah, I mean,
so that's a J instead of a S?
like to me, I've seen him with opportunities to make plays, and I'm like, you're just not going to take the right angle. You're just not willing to lower your helmet on it. You're just not willing. And when I see a player who's just not willing, he does some things good here and there. He has some times where he looked at decent at moments, but overall, I can show you some stuff on film where you're going to say, why is he right there? And my question is going to be, I don't know, but the real question is, why is he even on the field? This is somebody that, in my opinion, it's just too inconsistent. Again, we got replacements on the roster already, which I believe is going to be people like Okuda. And even if you want to play around a little bit with Iffy at safety, you have that option. But God, you can't keep.
This is one position that's going to be completely changed next year. The safety position. I've been waiting for this for a while. Tracy Walker, I think, will be the only guy really coming back this year.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I think they'll get a safety in free agency. Look for the guy coming from the New Orleans Saints. Forgot his name right at the top of my head. I suspect he's probably a guy, got connections to Aaron Glenn. And they draft one. Boy, I'd love to get Kyle Hamilton, but maybe a Jordan Battle, something like that. CJ Moore, he won't be back.
He shouldn't be. So basically, people, that's my rundown on free agents who I think should be here, should not be here. I know this name has come up a few times, Marcus Williams. I don't even see a reason to take Marcus Williams when you have an opportunity to take Kyle Hamilton. And Kyle Hamilton reminds me so much of Sean Taylor. Like, it's so scary. The ball skills are there. The ability to tackle is there. He's probably not as much of a big hitter as Sean Taylor, but he is more than willing to hit you. And that, I love that. I love that part of him.
Kyle Hamilton is the best prospect in this year's draft.
That's
people say it's a safety. You can't take a safety high. I tell you what, a 6'4", 220 hybrid monster. Freaking, you want a werewolf? That's Kyle Hamilton, man.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now. There's other prospects I like, but to me, he is the surefire guy.
Yeah, the Lions, in all honesty, if they nail two of these picks, I'm fine. Like for me in last year's draft, I wanted three players. I wanted three players really bad, and one player I predicted they would go left tackle, and they said I thought Slater was a little bit better than Sewell because he had more versatility. And I said, you know what? If they're going to go with one, they're going to go with Sewell. And people said, oh, they're not taking a tackle, Luke. We need a quarterback, and they selected Sewell. And I was like, okay, told you.
Sewell was a fantastic pick, man.
It's a
phenomenal pick. It was him or Micah Parsons, and they both turned out to be really good players. But we got a guy who plays all over the field. That's a great statistic. It's 100% correct. And look at our running game right now. That's a testament to Penei Sewell, the offensive line, and it's only going to get better. How do you win in the NFC North? We've talked about this year in and year out. You got to run the football. You got to have a mean offensive line, and I think we're getting that together. Wait till Frank Ragnow comes back, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker. Who knows what's going on with Jonah Jackson or Vati Vaitai, but you're going to be able to run the football, and you're going to be able to win football games by controlling the clock like we have done.
Yeah, and again, my whole argument for taking Sewell was this right here. Goff throwing, Sewell blocking anybody, and it's working.
And it has, and people wonder why is the Lions just controlling clock? They take the whole first quarter out. Penei Sewell is one of the reasons why. That's, in all honesty, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We got my man Ghost Gunner joining us, man. Mike, I don't know if you want to hang in there or not. It's up to you. But Gunner, what you got for the people, man?
Well, I just piggybacking off the Sewell stuff. Our right side was a complete disaster last year. Like, Matt Nelson is not a starter. We saw that when we had Taylor Decker out. Most of our pressure came from him. He is a okay backup at best.
Who? Decker?
Nelson. No, Nelson.
Oh, Nelson, yeah. I mean, but you know what, though? Nelson was still serviceable for this reason alone. Whenever they ran the big set, he was able to get out there and get in people's way. And that's something you didn't see with, Crosby. So at the very least, we were still there to get those done. And so I can't argue or get mad at that. But yeah, it was this photo right here that told me, like, this is how I think. I think you put protection up. I don't care who your receivers are; they'll be good. And I learned this from the New England Patriots, because when you go through and look at New England before they got Randy Moss, wasn't nobody talking about how great their receivers were. In fact, that was the one position they neglected, and then he finally drafts somebody, and N'Keal Harry don't do crap. So it's unfortunate, but what can you do? What can you really do? In all honesty,
you can drink a lot of alcohol, and
true.
Jump in the blazing bowl. If you don't know what that is it's a old torture method where you jump into a metal bowl and you light a fire under it. So that is the type of things you can do as a Detroit Lions fan, and try to make your day go better that way.
True, 100%.
I can't wait till Lion plays all together next year.
Oh,
that's the thing that I'm waiting to see. When the line comes together, it's going to take at least 2 or 3 games for them to really feed off each other and get it going. But if you do it right and you do it in the preseason, one game, then let them, rest that 1 week, and then let them come back for the opening, it'll be fine. William Burr says there was that same argument over Chase, but the Bengals are loving their pick. Yeah, they are, but their quarterback's still getting beaten.
It's a good pick for them, but I think for us, it's different. We need to be able to control. Look, we've been a finesse team. We've seen it, folks. We've had Calvin Johnsons. We have Marvin Jones, Golden Tates. What has it done for us? We got to be a physical football team. We got to be the black and blue football team, the division. You have to run the football. It's not going to change. I mean, we get all these quarterbacks. We get the greatest wide receiver, but if we don't have an offensive line, it's not going to matter.
I got something for you, Mike. This is just for you. I saw this, and I can't stop playing it because it's so entertaining. And I know it's just 1 year, but as long as that guy is, as long as Sewell is here, I'm going to play this video.
I hope everybody's enjoying draft night. And the next pick is just in. And the Detroit Lions really suck, man. They just wasted their first-round pick on Penei Sewell, and I think he's going to be a bust. When I watched the film, I saw him getting pushed back, with sloppy footwork, and a sloppy stance. I guess everybody is watching him in shorts, thinking that he's really good, or watching when they played a crappy school, him pushing back some guy that we don't even know his name. Okay, maybe that's the case. But for me, when I watched the toughest game that they played, Penei Sewell got pushed back, knocked on his ass, shaggy footwork. I did not think he was the top left tackle. You got to
send me this link to this video.
Also, with how deep the left tackle position is this year, they really didn't need to make this pick.
It's balls deep.
They could have just gotten a left tackle in the second round. They didn't need to overcompensate here. And how the hell do you pass on Devonta Smith or let Patrick Surtain go all the way down to the Broncos at 9? I mean, first off, offensively for the Lions, they don't have anybody to throw to. So I have no idea in their minds what they think is going to happen when Jared Goff goes out there and starts swinging it around. It's going to be a nightmare. They're not going to be able to score points.
They are what we thought they were.
The Lions fans, you can enjoy having someone who thinks he's the Big Lebowski as head coach, but this is a bad organization, and they're just going to keep getting worse. For me, I think the writing was on the wall when Matt Stafford wanting nothing to do with them, and they were forced to downgrade a quarterback.
Guy on the planet.
I don't really know what else to say, except the Lions
I got to do a
terrible,
reaction video to this.
Continue this way for a long time, and not even trying to be a hater. But
yeah,
typically, Hawaiians don't make it at the NFL level. Again, I'm not trying to be stereotypical or anything, but how many Samoans actually make it at the NFL level? Just throwing
Hawaiians don't make it. That is the worst thing.
Nah, y'all kill me.
Hawaiians don't make it at the NFL.
Oh my God.
Oh, apparently all they can do is WWE.
Right.
Oh, man.
Woo. Oh, I needed that laugh, people. Oh my God.
Typically, Hawaiians don't make it.
So you simply go to YouTube and type in
dumbass.
Just type in Detroit Lions suck drafting Penei Sewell, and you will find it. It's the only video out there with this title.
God.
And he doubled down, Mike. He doubled down. He doubled down and dropped a part 2. I think he got 3 of them, but I didn't watch the third one because I was too busy laughing at these 2.
He only got 893 views. Damn,
dude. The racist remarks was just funny. I was like, "Are you serious, Hawaiians?" He talked. He talked about Samoans, and it's ridiculous, bro.
Typically, Hawaiians don't do well.
I'm like, what the hell? And he took so much heat. He took so much heat that every chance I get, I bring it up. I want people to know, like, this is the fan base that we have to talk to, and people who get opportunity. But this is just the craziest take I've ever heard.
I've never heard someone say typically Hawaiians.
I've never had it. Like as you see right there, they said, "Hey, Palomalu says hello." Junior Seance Hawaiian. Like he doubled up. Hold on, he doubled up because he, and
bring a little bit of a follow up here. So let's get this straight. The Lions really, really suck. I have nothing personal against them. I just really dislike all of their offseason moves. And I just find it hilarious that one of the worst teams in football draft the highest Buds potential player of the draft, Penei Sewell. He's way overhyped by the media, and they bought the bait, hook, line, and sinker, while other teams got better around them. So with the Lions, I haven't liked one thing they did this offseason except when they re-signed Romeo Okwara. That was a solid move. He's a 10-sack guy. It made sense. That was decent. But they hire a bum coach in Dan Campbell. I'm not sure how he got the job.
I'm giving her a D, man.
I don't think carrying a clipboard for the Saints warrants you to get a head coaching job, but apparently he does in Detroit. They downgraded quarterback by swapping Goff for Stafford. Goff is afraid to get hit, and he'll hold his head back. I don't care what anybody says. I heard a lot of Lions fans last night look at the stats and say, well, Goff statistically is better than
statistically.
Yeah, but that's one thing because the Rams were winning, and they have a really good coach in Sean McVay.
God, I got this guy's got to post again.
Goff is a product of their system. At the end of the day,
listen, if you want to go and see this, I do this every often because I've never seen something be so far off that I couldn't make sense of it. So I do this every time. It's fun. It's laughable. You can't beat it. Sorry, Gunner. I want to give you all your time that you still deserve.
Man, I'll let you get off, man. That was funny, though.
Yeah, do a reaction video. You listen. This is not gonna go. Listen, when you do the reaction video, I promise you, they're gonna. He already had I think that video had a few thousand dislikes or something like that.
God, I wish the dislike counter is still on there.
That's why he ended up taking that down, and that's why he ended up doubling down with the video. And then I think he did a third one. He did a third one because people was like, "What the hell?" I even asked him like, "Hey, you can come on and talk. I'm curious to what game you're talking about." He said all of them. I said all of them. What the what? What do you mean all of them? And he refused to come on. So since he refused to come on, I decided to go in the fair use way and react to the video. So,
oh my God, I feel like Panay Sewell maybe has screwed his ex-girlfriend or something. I don't know, man.
I've never in my life heard somebody just break out and be like Hawaiians. He like historically Hawaiians are not good at football.
You know, in this part of the country, that they do not produce football players.
It just don't make sense, and it's terrible. But again, that's the reality. I appreciate you for coming through. Yeah, I can't wait to see that reaction video.
I'm gonna have to do it, man. With it. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. All right, man.
It's the best thing, man. Appreciate you for coming through, Gunner. I'm gonna give you your time, man, because you patiently waited through that ignorance that I had to display, but it was necessary. It was.
No, it's always a pleasure to watch that again.
It's necessary. Like, what the hell is he talking about?
Like, out of all the people in that draft, you thought Sewell was the. Like, everybody was talking about him being a surefire player that year too. He's the only one who thought that. I thought like the biggest boomer bust potential was Trey Lance.
I will give him this. I give him this, and to me, it was Trey Lance. I will give him this. That at least he was willing to stand in his own truth. Okay, and I'll give him that.
He stood his ground. I'll give him.
He said he probably hate Hawaiian Punch.
Hawaiian Punch. Hey, no way.
I'm sorry, people. This is what we do here. We have fun. It just sometimes things catch me off guard. Gunner, what else you got for the show? My apologies. I'm good. I'm back together now. I'm back.
Well, you started at 3:45. I just now caught the show.
Well, you're gonna definitely want to go back to the beginning because I kind of lost my shit a little bit earlier.
Was it about Jamal Williams starting?
Yes. Why do we keep doing this?
So I don't get it. Like, Craig Reynolds has had two really good back games. Why is he not getting the load of the carries?
It makes no sense.
And the whole
makes no sense, man.
Tim Boyle throwing it too much. Whatever. That last pass in the end, that was the worst throw I've ever seen. Actually, I don't even think that was the worst throw of the game. The worst throw of the game, he missed wide open.
Oh, yeah, the touchdown was wide open. But he admitted that he was confused about whether it was zone or man coverage. So I give him credit for that.
Confused? There was two dudes standing right next to the receiver. A linebacker right in front of him, and there's two DBs on the receiver. How is that confusing?
Exactly. And I agree with Joey Two-Times. I thought Sewell was the safe pick. I thought they would go with the safe pick, and I thought that the safe pick made sense this year because it completed the offensive line. And we can honestly say we have an offensive line. And I never thought I would say that with a Detroit Lions team.
Plus, we don't even need to – I don't even think this year we need to draft a receiver high. I think we can get one in free agency, and our receiving core will be fine.
Listen, I agree. Like I said, I agree. I think it's one of the things that you have to look at and just go, okay, here's where we are and here's where we at. And so I get it. I like it and I get it. You got anything else? Because again, I know I took some of your time up, but I had to. That was just the ridiculous.
Is there a free agent wide receiver you're interested in?
A free agent wide receiver, I mean, yes. But unfortunately, I'm scared to now touch him because he tore his Achilles tendon. That was Chris Godwin from the Buccaneers.
I kind of want to go after Mike Williams from the Chargers. So I don't think he gets re-signed.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't want Mike Williams. Because Mike Williams, every time you think you're gonna have him down the stretch, he gets hurt. And this is the first time where he ain't really been like super hurt. And I like Mike Williams, the player, but I feel like if I'm taking somebody in free agency, I'm taking somebody who I think can create something on their own. And I think Mike Williams is a big body, but I don't think he can create nothing on his own like a Chris Godwin could. And I was a fan of Chris Godwin when he came out of college, and I was a fan of Mike Williams when he came out of college. I just think that what we're doing and how we're throwing the ball, we're not going to be throwing the ball down the field as much, even if you had Dan Marino at quarterback. So the attitude is you need to be more prepared because the Lions are becoming more and more of a running team, and that's just the reality. So, if you're telling me Mike Williams is going to be a good blocker, which I'm not going to say he is, then I'm probably going to tell you no. But I've seen Chris Godwin block. So, yeah, that's why I wouldn't touch Mike Williams.
All right.
Anything else you want to ask me? I'm giving you the floor back. I took a lot of time with the videos and laughing. It was funny.
I kind of see us beating Seattle next week.
I do too. And
I don't know what's going on with it over there.
They listen. I'm okay. People, I've said this before. I'm not shy about what I like. I like 3 NFC teams, right? I like the Detroit Lions. It's my home team, and I represent the Detroit Lions because they're grossly underrepresented in media and stuff like that. But I'm also a fan of the Seahawks, and I'm a fan of the Bucks, and I've been that way since they were losers. I was a fan of the Hawks when they were losers, and in fact, if you think about it, I'm kind of a fan of the underdog story. Like, I love Rocky because he wasn't supposed to beat the people he beat, but I love the story. I like the underdog story, and I've been a fan of those people for that reason. So for me, yeah, I'm cool with it. The Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson ain't done nothing without a run attack.
Really, these last 2 years, he's been kind of iffy.
I mean, Sierra got him gone. And I ain't gonna lie. If you ever watch some of her videos, your imagination can run with some of the things I've seen her do with her body. It's impressive. But at the end of the day, he's not going to do anything because this is the way football works. You can't be one-dimensional and think you're going to have success in this league. It just doesn't work that way. So, anything else you got for me before I let you out of here?
No, I think that's it.
Appreciate you, Ghost. I see Malik came back for a minute, and he probably finna disagree with something. But I'll be here to hear it, man. Appreciate you for coming through, Ghost.
All right.
Yep. Malik, what's going on, bro?
What's up? I just came back to say, the last person who was just on, I agree with you. I think we need to be Seattle because I seen a clip where she had on the news in the state of Washington. They said that there is no team worse in the NFL worse than the Chicago Bears. Worse than the Detroit Lions. They said we worse than the Chicago Bears. That's what they said on the state news.
Oh, okay, well, cool. But if they can't run the ball, Russell Wilson can't get it done by himself. And that's with a DK Metcalf. That's with the weapons he have around him. You got to have a run game. And without that, I don't see a reason why the Lions don't beat them. Now, if the Lions come out and do what they did against the Falcons and somehow make Jared Goff throw the ball 30, 40 times, then we losing. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I can say we could beat them because the way how our receivers playing and all of that, yeah.
Yeah, listen.
And one thing I wanted to say too, I think we need to drive Drake London in the draft. Put him and Ahmad back together. Put them back together.
Wait, you want to put who back together?
Ahmad and Drake London.
No, Malik, no. Malik, go wash your hands. No. Look, listen, if you're going to take a receiver, take the best receiver in the draft. And in my opinion, that's Burks. And if you're not taking Taylon, then I don't know what we're doing here.
All right, but what's his name better than him too, though? The dude from what's it called? Purdue.
Nah, I think Burks to me is Anquan Bolton. He's basically Anquan Bolton, like he had a marriage with Terrell Lawrence, and they create. He's an aggressive guy. I don't see that being the case. If you're gonna go receiver, go with the best one in my opinion.
And did you see Drake London's stats in only 5, 6, 7 games?
Yeah, but I don't care about his stats. You know why I don't care about his stats? Because the film showed me that he's a jump ball guy. You're repeating history with a jump ball guy, and the speed. If he runs a 4.3, I'll be shocked. I will be shocked. I don't see that. And when I look at Burks, I've seen Burks get a wide receiver screen and just go. And no matter who reached out, they lost fingers and wrists and hands and arms, and it's impressive. So yeah, I mean, if we're going to go on that route for draft, then I would want to see it be that way. That's how I would want to do it.
Well, but before I go, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to hit up at the same time. My 2 top first-round picks is Hutchinson and Drake London. They're my two top picks right there.
Yeah, I'm not going to kill you on that. I'm not. I personally wouldn't touch Aiden Hutchinson with no pick, and I wouldn't touch London with no pick. In my opinion, they should be looking at defense, and I think they will look at defense. I think when you look at the offense, it's there, and I think that's a good comparison, Steve-O. I forgot all about my man Andre Johnson. That's a very good comparison. He is like Andre Johnson. And I'm not saying that London is a slouch. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if I'm going to take a receiver, I'm taking the best one. You know, you say he's a lot more than a jump ball receiver. I feel like he's just jump ball receiver. I just like he's not. I like the more physicality of Burks. That's all I'm saying. But you know, appreciate Malik for coming through, man, and rocking with us, man. People, I gotta get up out of here because I'm finna go watch me some Spider-Man. So at least try to. And so you know me, I can't never end the show on a negative note. Thanks to all the guests who came in here. Ghost Gunner, Malik came through. We had my man Micro Mike come through. We've had Down 19 come through. All the people in the chat who commented come through. Even my man Dr. Detroit, Don Burr. They always making sure that they keep me together, and I love it because it makes me work harder to be on my game, so it doesn't bother me one bit. But then that's a very Spider-Man's a great movie. Well, don't nobody spoil nothing for me. Keep it all to your thoughts, to yourself. I don't want anything. I haven't had time. I got little kids and they require lots of attention. Okay. But yeah, that's a great comparison. Andre Johnson. That's man. In fact, I did it. I had already completed the video for Burke. Now I might go back and re-record it and compare his stuff with the film from Andre Johnson. So I really do like that. He says Drake can run routes. Have you ever seen Drake after he catch the ball? He doesn't go down without a fight. I know, but it's not the same. It don't look or feel the same to my eyes. I want the aggressive. I watched Burks stiff arm a dude to Neptune. I don't even know how you could put somebody that far off the planet, but God, that was a vicious stiff arm. And I've watched him just straight run through tackles. And I'm, again, I could be here. But it is what it is. Mars is moving the bill. He says, I'm here, I'm late, but I'm here. You're gonna definitely want to go back to the beginning because I was pissed off about the Falcons game. So you're gonna definitely want to see that. But yeah, again, all the people who joined me, who rocked in, who hit the like button and subscribe. If you want to go and see that video that I keep referencing about the Sewell take, which I'm going to keep referencing it because I was going to do one or two things. One, it's going to age really well and he's going to be right, or it's going to age real bad and he's going to be wrong. And that's cool. That's cool. One Pride 40 says, you think they will take Hamilton at 2? I do. If you go through and you look at the draft in its entirety, I think their first priority is to trade down and get more assets and get down far enough to where they can still get more assets and still take Hamilton. But I think that's a number one priority for them. It's just 100%. That's a number one priority for them is safety, especially with the fact that if they somehow don't bring back Tracy Walker or they even fail to even get any safeties in the building, and that's what y'all got to pay attention to. My early prediction, I'm going to give that to y'all like week 17. But yeah, I told y'all I'll start talking draft around like week 15, 16, somewhere in that area, and we are in that area, so that's why I'm talking draft. So just FYI. Can't end the show unless it's on a positive note. Today's positive quote comes from one of my favorite people of all time. Somebody who I think is an icon. Somebody who I think does not get enough credit for what he has contributed to this thing called society. Somebody that is grossly underrated. And I am talking about one, and I do repeat one, Mr. Pee Wee Herman. That's right. Don't you freaking judge me. He was awesome, and I love that show to death. It had Lawrence Fishburne in there, and so many great people that we didn't even realize was in the show that was there. Period, point blank. Pay attention to this. He says, happiness is yours and yours alone. Happiness is yours and yours alone. Some of y'all keep giving y'all happiness away. Y'all subscribing to people who only know how to take. They don't know how to give anything back. They don't know how to be a part of the process. They don't know how to be a part of the team. They don't know how to support you from afar while supporting you up close. They just know how to take from you. And you just keep depositing your happiness to other people. But when you start to realize that the only 3 people that you need to deposit your happiness into is me, myself, and I, you will always and forever be happy, because at that point, the only person who's in charge of your happiness is you. The only person who's been enabled to exact revenge on your happiness is you. The only person who can take your happiness away is you. At the end of the day, people, hold on to your happiness. take in your happiness, bag for your happiness, demands your happiness, and make sure that you not only treat your happiness like it's your newborn child, but make sure that you remind it every day that it's important to you. Because without that, you can never be happy. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for rocking with me. Sorry, I'm kind of late to the party on getting my reaction. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Everybody who participated, I plan to be back at it tomorrow. Hopefully no overtime for me. We definitely need to get people out here to start applying for jobs. They out here, people. Please do so. And I have every intention of coming back tomorrow to talk about the Seattle versus Detroit Lions as we get closer towards the end of the year. And again, this is around the time where you can ask me questions about the draft. Like I promised, it would be around week 16, 17, and I try to keep myself as a man of my word. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research. I am out.